Dinner time was over in Ella's cozy little house, and the kitchen was filled with the happy smells of yummy food. Ella, who was 5 years old and always full of giggles, looked at the pile of dishes in the sink. She tugged on her dad's shirt. "Daddy, can I help you wash the dishes tonight? Please?" Her dad smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Of course, my little helper. Washing dishes is much more fun with a partner." He went to the cupboard under the sink and pulled out a small step stool, placing it right beside him. Then, he brought out a special surprise for Ella, a pair of bright yellow rubber gloves, just her size. Ella's eyes widened with excitement. "Wow, just like yours, Daddy." She carefully pulled the gloves on, wiggling her fingers until they fit perfectly. She felt like a real kitchen superhero. Standing on her stool, she could now see right into the big, shiny sink. Dad turned on the faucet, and warm water began to fill the sink. He squeezed a little bit of dish soap into the stream. Instantly, magical, sparkly bubbles started to grow and grow, filling the sink like a fluffy white cloud. "Whoa!" Ella gasped, poking a finger into the mountain of foam. A bunch of tiny bubbles popped with a quiet little fizz. She giggled, dipping her whole gloved hand in, loving the warm, soapy feeling. The bubbles tickled her fingers. "Ready to get started, Captain Ella?" Dad asked, handing her a colorful plastic cup. It was her favorite one, with a friendly cartoon dinosaur on it. "Ready, Daddy," she chirped. She took the cup and dipped it into the bubbly water. She scrubbed it with a soft sponge, just like she'd seen her dad do 100 times. She swished it around, making more and more bubbles. Then, she tried to lift it out of the water, but whoosh! A big bubble floated right off the cup and drifted up, up into the air, shimmering like a tiny rainbow in the warm kitchen light. "Look, Daddy, a flying bubble!" She squealed with delight. Dad laughed along with her. "You're a bubble magician, Ella." Another bubble floated up, and he playfully tried to catch it between his hands, but it popped. They both laughed, their happy sounds filling the kitchen. The work didn't feel like work at all. It felt like a game. Dad started washing the heavier, grown-up plates while Ella focused on her important job. He handed her a bright blue plastic plate next. "Here's another one for my expert helper," he said. Ella scrubbed it carefully, making sure every little bit of leftover spaghetti sauce was gone. She hummed a little tune as she worked, a song she had made up all by herself. "When I'm done washing, where does it go?" she asked, holding up the clean blue plate. "Now it's time for a rinse," Dad explained. He showed her how to hold it under the clean, running water from the other faucet. Ella held the plate carefully as the warm water washed away all the soap. She gave it a little shake, and a few drops of water splashed onto her nose, making her giggle. She looked at the plate, sparkling clean in her hands. "All done," she announced proudly. "Great job! Now you can hand it to me, and I'll put it on the drying rack," Dad said, taking the plate and giving it a quick wipe with a towel. He placed it neatly in the rack next to the sink. One by one, they created a team. Ella washed, rinsed, and then proudly passed the clean dishes to her dad. They washed colorful plastic bowls, little spoons, and even the big plastic salad bowl. As they worked side by side, Dad said, "You know, Ella, it's really wonderful that you're helping me." Ella looked up at him, her face serious. "Why, Daddy?" "Well," he began, When we all live together in a family, we're like a team. Everyone helps out a little bit to keep our home happy and clean. You help by putting your toys away, and now you're helping with the dishes. It makes the work go faster, and it means we have more time to play together afterward. Ella thought about that. She liked being on a team with her dad. So I'm a good teammate, she asked, her voice full of hope. You're the best teammate, Dad said, ruffling her hair gently. They continued their work. Ella got a little carried away and splashed some soapy water onto the floor. Oops, she said, her cheeks turning a little pink. No problem. Accidents happen, Dad said calmly. He grabbed a small towel and wiped it up in a second. That's why we have these towels. See? Easy to fix. Ella felt relieved. It was okay to make a little mess sometimes, as long as you cleaned it up. Soon, they were down to the very last dish, a little green spoon. Ella took it and gave it the most thorough wash of all. She scrubbed the front and the back, then rinsed it until it gleamed under the kitchen lights. She shook off the last drops of water very carefully this time. The last one, Daddy, she declared, holding it up like a trophy. We did it, Dad cheered. He took the spoon and placed it in the drying rack with the rest of the sparkling clean dishes. The sink was empty, except for a few lingering bubbles. The kitchen looked tidy and peaceful. Ella pulled off her wet, yellow gloves and placed them on the counter. She looked at the rack of clean dishes, and a big, proud smile spread across her face. We cleaned them all, she whispered, feeling a wonderful sense of accomplishment. Dad turned off the water and dried his hands. He looked down at his amazing little daughter standing on her stool. You were a fantastic helper tonight, Ella. Thank you. Then he bent down and scooped her up into his arms, lifting her high off the stool. Ella wrapped her arms around his neck, burying her face in his shoulder in a big, warm hug. As he held her, a few leftover bubbles that had been hiding in the sink decided to float up and drift gently around them, like magical confetti celebrating their teamwork. The warm kitchen light glowed, and in that perfect, quiet moment, Ella felt so loved and so proud. Helping her dad was the best part of the whole day.